when the NDC was coming to power, nobody asked them. They did their manifesto. Nobody sent them. They went and put together this particular contract.
They signed it themselves.
But Alaska has said he will be displaying it as he did yesterday. So they brought it themselves. So we printed one. Buachi has had a copy from the campaign time and is carrying it around. So
counting the days.
We've been counting the days. How much of it can be done? How much of it is just the initiation of something? So I have the social contract. Nancy has done the checks. So we'll start from somewhere. Nancy?
Yes, sir. But before then, judges know, I'm going to declare myself. Do they do it?
They're supposed to. All the high court judges, all the judges, the superior court judges.
They're supposed to declare.
Yeah, so from the high court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court.
But someone never check.
Okay.
Because Mr. Daniel Domalevo was even saying that even if you are a circuit court judge and your salary is to the level of a director at the civil service, then you need to declare your assets. Oh no, but he said it. He said that during his tenure, he's found out most of the judges were not declaring their assets. Yes.
I see. Whether
they declare their assets. But judges who remand people when they suspend them, then they get angry. You remind somebody who you haven't found guilty of anything, but you say he should go and sleep in prison custody.
Well, I see.
Anyway, we'll go through. So this is the contract the NDC signed with the people of Ghana that within 120 days they intend to put as much effort as possible to achieve these things. Okay. So I'll start with one. The very first thing President Mahama promised, and the NDC promised, represented by President Mahama, is that John Mahama will nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. Complete list of cabinet ministers. I think cabinet is 13 ministers. Yeah? Or?
No.
Cabinet is how many?
19.
19. Okay. So within the first 14 days. So you're counting from 7th. So that will be 21st. 21st of January.
Yeah.
So by the 21st of January, they should have a full list of cabinet ministers. Okay. Nancy, did they?
Yes, they did.
By 21st?
By 21st, we saw the last batch of ministers being nominated. And so the ministerial nominees started on the 9th. That's when the first list came. That's when we saw 3 ministers being nominated: Energy, Attorney General, and then the Minister for Finance. And then on the 16th, another batch of ministers were nominated. If you recall, that one involved the Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, Emiliata for Fisheries, Elizabeth Ofosue-Jari, Kwame Gavons Agboja, Eric Opoku, and the rest. That list came on the 16th.
Okay. And
the final one came on the 21st. So that included Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, Sam George, Amako Fibua, Pelpo, Akando, Mutala. Okay. You know, that last batch of ministers, Gilbert, AJ, and the rest. So the last batch actually came on the 21st. So the 21st. Nominees, the ministers started, the list started on the 9th, and by 21st, he was done with his ministers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will mark that one.
You are marking?
Then the second one is constitute the leanest and most efficient government under the Fourth Republic in my first 90 days in office. So 90 days.
Okay. So on this one, what we can say is that government is still being constituted, but there are the signals are actually good.
Okay.
Pointing to someone who is willing to actually put together or form a lean government.
Okay.
For instance, you take the total number of ministers. It's a clear example of someone who is, in the process of forming a lean government.
Okay.
You take, for instance, you go to the presidency and then you check the staffers compared to what we have seen in the past. You'll notice that those are signals that this is a person who wants a lean government. Take the ministers, for instance. We have a total of plus deputies, 56.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have 56.
Yes.
So you go to a place like the National Security Architecture, where we used to have, I think, about 6
ministers
put together.
Yeah.
We have Minister Defense, Interior. There was a Minister in State in charge of Minister of State in charge of
the
interior. There was a National Security Minister, National Security Coordinator, and there was a
National Security Advisor.
National Security Advisor. So all that has been brought down to 4. I think now there are 4. Defense, Interior, Security Coordinator, Advisor, and then the National Security Coordinator. So, and you look at some of the ministries. Take, for instance, the Ministry of Energy. Those days we had 3 deputies.
Okay.
Now they have only 1. Go to Agric. There used to be, I think, about 4.
Yeah.
Yes. Now he has only 1 deputy. Some of the state agencies used to have 2 deputies, cut down to 1 and all that. So, yes, government is we are still seeing governments being constituted. But, like I said, the signals are clear that the intention is to have a lean government. So, yeah.
The intention is to have a lean government.
Yes.
What about efficiency?
As for efficiency, that will be determined based on the performance of the ministers, right?
Okay.
So
whether the lean government you're constituting is actually efficient will ultimately be based on the results you get.
Yes.
Okay.
So that you cannot measure from the beginning.
Okay.
But somewhere as we move along, you'll be able to tell whether the people who have been nominated have been efficient at their work or not.
So are you able to deliver
on your mandate?
On your mandate with a smaller group?
Yes.
And efficiently. Better, far better. Okay. Great. So that one half. Then there's 3. Establish a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials.
I have not seen the documents.
Okay, yeah.
And for it, whether to talk about it with robustness is also another thing.
Okay.
I've not seen it. Its implementation will also tell about if it is robust or not. But what we know is that the code of conduct has been launched. And all of you appointees, you have to abide by that.
Okay.
You should get a copy. Anytime you want to do something in your office, you open it, read, and see whether you are not breaching any of the codes before you go ahead. Robust there.
Oh, okay.
When we see the documents, the full complement of it.
But that one you can even say it is strict. Robust means it involves resilience. So its ability to meet the test of time.
Its ability to ensure that the things it says they shouldn't do, they are not doing.
Yes. Yes.
So that one, when we see it, and then we see that one of them has done this one, which the code of conduct say they shouldn't do, and they are held by the code of conduct, then we can talk about robust.
Okay.
Thank
so
you very
that's
much.
how you measure robustness. Okay, that's the interesting the language.
Okay. So
partly
number 3. No, it's been done. So you can mark it.
You give them the marks.
Yeah, you can mark it. You can mark it. But you're marking, you can mark it.
Number 4, they said hold a national economic dialogue to discuss the true state of the economy and prepare a homegrown fiscal consolidation program to guide the budget.
Okay. So, a national economic dialogue, we all know, was held on the 3rd and on the 4th of March 2025. That was done. And, we've also seen some austerity measures in the budget. There were some cuts here and there, some capping, and the minister, and that actually guided the minister's budget that he read in Parliament. And there was one point where he said that no ministry can approve a contract without a commencement authorization from the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah.
That thing, Sena, alone for me is a big deal.
Okay.
That you cannot just sit in your office as any minister or SOE or something and say that you are doing this project and so you are signing the contract by yourself.
Okay.
You cannot sign it, you cannot approve it
Okay.
until you go to the Ministry of Information and get Ministry of Finance to get
the necessary approvals.
Commencement authorization.
Okay.
That alone, pe krano,
It's enough.
for me.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
for you, that promise kept.
yes, kept, delivered.
Okay. Okay. Within my first 90 days in office, scrap the following draconian taxes to alleviate hardships and ease the high cost of doing business. E-levy, COVID levy,
Gone.
10% levy on bet winnings and emissions levy.
Okay.
Has that been fulfilled?
Okay. So, on 11th of March 2025, when the budget was presented in Parliament, we saw e-levy,
Okay.
betting tax,
Okay.
and then emission tax scrapped.
Okay.
Okay.
So the e-levy, the
E-levy,
the 10%
tax,
levy on bet winnings and emissions levy gone.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, those were gone.
Okay. What about the COVID levy?
COVID levy outstanding with a promise from the finance minister
Okay.
that it will go by mid-year.
Okay.
Okay. So as part of the mid-year review, we should expect that COVID levy would go. And I think that would be included in the reforms they want to put together around the VAT regime.
Okay.
So when that is done, then we'll see COVID levy gone with the VAT, the new VAT regime.
So 3/4. Because 120 days, 120 days, 3/4.
So
okay. When it comes to that promise, it's 3/4. The sixth one says, within my first 90 days in office, review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported into the country for industrial and agricultural purposes.
Since yesterday, I've been looking around. I've been seeking for information on this one, and I'm not able to find anything.
Okay.
I don't know if I've not searched enough, but I have actually.
Okay. So far, your search has not
given
nothing
me
has come
any
up.
information on that. So that one you can mark it down.
Okay. Okay.
But like, if you know something about it, you can draw attention to it.
Okay.
But since yesterday, I've been asking people. I've been also searching, but haven't seen anything yet on that.
I see. Then the seventh is commence drafting needed legal amendments and prepare for implementing the 24-hour economy policy under the office of the president. Commence drafting needed legal amendments and prepare for implementing a 24-hour economy policy under the office of the president.
Okay, so when I was doing this search yesterday, I quickly sent a message to the presidency, and our sources there tell us that the drafting process has been completed, and the president is expected to update the public on the next step. Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far, okay, because it's difficult to check.
Yes.
The only way you can check is by speaking to the people who are responsible.
So the people who are responsible, I mean, when I placed
Say
a
they
call
have done
yesterday, they've done it, and that the president,
Or they are doing it.
they've done it.
Okay.
The draft is ready.
Okay.
And so the president will update the public tomorrow.
But the language in itself tells you commence drafting. So even if they were in the process, it's still good enough.
yes.
Commence drafting,
Yeah.
needed legal amendments and prepare for. So we'll see. So tomorrow, that one we'll leave it for proof to be shown tomorrow. Okay. Yes. And then there's establish an accelerated export development council to promote exports as part of a broader strategy for economic transformation.
This was done yesterday, actually.
Okay.
And I thought that there's not enough talk about it.
Okay.
Was it launched?
Okay.
Would I say launched?
There was a committee even set up.
Outdoors
Yeah.
with the committee yesterday. But because of the launching of the code of conduct, there's not too much about this one.
Okay.
But it was actually done yesterday. Headed by Guzitano.
Okay. Okay.
So it
I
was
think
done
the
yesterday.
24-hour economy and
Secretariat.
that and
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it was done yesterday.
Okay. Then 9, convene a national consultative conference on education to build consensus on needed improvements to the sector.
Read that again.
Convene a national consultative conference on education.
Okay.
To
The
build
National Education
Yes,
for- okay.
yes. Was that done?
Yes, it was done. I mean, everybody's aware of the Education Forum. What's the name of the prof? Okay. So that was done.
I think GTK, is it GTK Odro?
Yeah, Professor Drew. Yeah, on the 18th of February. And so the National Consultative Forum was held. But prior to that, we saw there were regional conferences in some selected regional capitals. So the National Education Forum was held.
Okay. So that has been convened.
Yes.
Okay. Then implement the no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions, universities, colleges of education, nursing training institutions, etc.
So allocation for this initiative or policy?
Initiative,
was announced in the budget read by Honorable Forson, with further steps taken, like a portal being open for beneficiary students to register. And also don't forget that the academic year actually started before this government took over. And so there are plans to, is it refund or use what was supposed to be given to the first year students who were supposed to be beneficiaries under the initiative to pay their school fees
in the second
level 200.
Okay.
And so that has also been done.
Okay. Then 11, introduce the following social interventions: free tertiary education for persons with disabilities, the Ghana Medical Care Trust Fund. So introduce the following social interventions. There's a free tertiary education for persons with disabilities. Then the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. That's the Mahama'S.
Mahama'S was launched recently. That's on the 29th of April.
Okay. The one where if you play careless, they'll take your salary for. Okay.
With funding sources identified, with additional promises from individuals and then other organizations to donate to the fund,
salary and 4 months
and
salary.
appointees and all that. And those of you who have decided not to, declare your assets to, you will give us more money. So that has been done. The free tertiary education for people with disability was announced, like with allocation announced in the budget. I've forgotten the amount, but that was also announced with allocation in the budget.
So 11 dealt with. 12, commence the distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools.
That initiative was also launched on the 24th of April.
I think close to us.
Yes, 24th of April, with 2 million girls in public basic and second cycle institutions targeted. So number 12 has also been done.
The key phrase is commence Okay, the key word is commence. Okay, key phrase, commence the distribution. So whether or not they've started the distribution is another matter, but we know there was a launch. Yeah, that's what we know.
And we've seen plenty parts.
Yeah.
They won't be keeping it in their offices.
Yeah, so by this time
They should be giving it out.
So if your child is a beneficiary, let us know. Then 13, institute inquiries and or forensic audits into the following matters of public interest: the collapse of indigenous Ghanaian banks and financial institutions at a supposed cost of 25 billion, illegal printing of money, the 58 million US dollars National Cathedral scandal, illegal and inflated single source contracts, COVID-19 expenditure scandal, PDS, Ejapa, SML, ambulance spare parts deal, 13th African Games, SkyTrain, Poalugu Dam, Matset, Galamsey fraud, missing excavators and tricycles, Sputnik V, Bust scandal, and others. So more and more and more. What have we heard?
Sena, these things have to do with investigations.
Okay.
And so even if they are being worked on, you won't have enough information.
Okay.
Or you'd have little information.
Okay.
Take, for instance, the Dubai case.
Okay.
Nobody was aware that there was an investigation going. And so I think that because they have to investigate, there's a little information except for the SkyTrain.
Okay.
The SkyTrain saga.
Yes. Yeah.
That the Attorney General indicated that they are working on, or the docket is with him, they are working on it. There's little information about the rest.
Okay.
But like I said, I want to believe that even if they are working on it, because these are cases that involve investigation, they would want to keep it out of the public for investigation to be conducted before they come out to say that this is what they've done on this. But as when you take that number 13, except for the SkyTrain, we have little information on the rest of
most of them
of the issues.
Okay. So that's subject, because the Attorney General also still insists that he will not come and talk about something that has not been properly investigated. Okay. Then there's 14, institute a government policy banning political appointees from purchasing state assets.
Yeah, so that was included in the code of conduct yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They say it's a policy.
It's a policy on its own.
I think it should be standing on its own. Why include it in the
but
code of conduct?
It's in the code of conduct.
Okay.
So you cannot, and it was one of the things he stressed on. You will not buy public assets, be it vehicle, house, whatever it is, as a government appointee, you will not buy it, not under John Dramani Mahama.
Okay. I see.
So
it is in a code of conduct.
Yes.
Okay. 15. Allocate seed money for the establishment of the Women's Development Bank.
Yes, that was also announced in the budget with 51 million Ghana cedi allocation made.
Okay.
Yeah.
51 million Ghana cedis. Okay. In the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's the seed money has been allocated. That's the promise. The 16 is the launch of the following priority job creation programs in the first budget. So a Jumera program, National Apprenticeship program, and 1 million Coders program.
Yeah. The Coders program was launched on the 16th of April.
Okay.
A Jumara on the 28th, and then apprenticeship on the 30th. And so all three duly launched.
Okay. The interesting phrase is launch the following job priority creation programs in the first budget. So launch in the budget. Yeah. So there was a subsequent launch after the budget, but the allocations were made for them
in the budget. Before the real launching
was done.
Okay. So that's it.
Counted as done. So that's 16. We'll come back to the ones where we say we need
don't have
more
information.
updates. Yeah. So 17, commence the review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020 to scrap the law banning the importation of salvage vehicles to rescue the local automotive industry at Swami Magazine, Kokompe, Abusokai, among others. Now, the key phrase is commence the review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020. So within the first 120 days, they must commence a review of the Customs Amendment Act 2020. Do we have any information on that?
And this one was difficult to get information, but it was hidden somewhere and I found it. So on the 16th of March 2025, the Minister for Trade, that's Elizabeth Ofoswe-Jare, met with the Swami Magazine Industrial Development Organization as part of engagement towards the amendment of the law banning the importation of salvage vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether that can be, and you are interpreting that as meeting the commence the review.
They said they should commence the review of the act or the law. Okay. And I mean, that is the step taken by the minister. It falls under her. And so meeting the stakeholders that are involved, that is the Swami Magazine Industrial Development Organization. They're the ones in charge of that.
I see.
And so,
commence the review. Okay. Then 18, lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government scholarship administration, prohibit political appointees from accessing government scholarships, and eliminate political patronage, cronyism, nepotism, and corruption in awarding government scholarships. Do we have any information?
So, lay before Parliament?
Yeah, a new bill.
Okay. So, the bill has not been laid, but the Minister of Education, Hannah Idrisu, on the 15th of April, announced that a new bill known as the Ghana Scholarship Authority Bill will be laid before Parliament when it reconvenes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it made
the bill is available, but it's not been laid.
Government is on recess. I said government. Parliament is on recess.
So lay before Parliament.
When it reconvenes.
They knew that Parliament, so this promise has not been met. It's lay. It's not been met.
Oh, Massa.
They are supposed to leave before Parliament.
But yes, we also didn't say Parliament should go on recess.
How can you not
factor? The 120 days?
No. How can administration not? How can the NDC not factor in the possibility of government going in, Parliament going on recess into the 120-day social contract? When they were counting, they did not take out recess. So it's not been done. It's not been done. I'm the one who is marking. We are fighting over nothing. The 19 says, ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves. Roll out Tree for Life and Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably harness the environment by turning areas and water bodies degraded by illegal mining into economic and ecological recovery hubs.
From the actions taken by government, you can sense that this is a government that has no tolerance for any form of illegal mining, not to talk of doing it in forest reserves. Okay. Take, for instance, the clampdown on the, what was the place of the forest reserves? I mean,
I think the Subri Forest Reserve. The Subri. The illegal establishment.
Yes.
Illegal,
and clamping down on illegal miners, clearing them off the forest reserve and all that. I mean, it tells you that this is a government that does not is ready to fight it and will not tolerate any form of illegal mining. And so that part. Then the part where it says
roll out
the Tree for Life, that was launched on March 21st. And then the Blue Water Initiative, Afriwa's people, that one too, they were outdoored on the 17th of March.
17th March.
And subsequently they went for training.
They pass out and everything.
Yes. And so that's...
Okay, so that one you can take it as done. Then 20th is launch the Black Star Experience.
That will launch on the 1st of May.
1st of May, so holiday. That is done.
Yeah.
Okay. Then 21, commence investigative processes to purge state security agencies of all militia and vigilante elements. So, commence investigative process. So, there has to be evidence that there was some investigation that was commenced.
Commence investigation.
Investigative processes, not.
So, if investigations are being done,
Yeah.
you won't see it.
No, but there has to be evidence that there are some investigative there's some investigative process.
So on this one, the Minister of the Interior actually inaugurated a committee headed by Mr. Kwesi Sapon to look into that issue, recruitment into the security services under his ministry, all of those. So that committee has been constituted, set up, and is being headed by Mr. Kwesi Sapon.
I think they've even finished and submitted a report from the secretary of the committee, who is now deputy at
NACOP.
NACOP. Oh, yeah.
NACOP.
Okay, NACOP. Yeah, commission now.
Yes.
Okay.
So that has been done.
Okay, you can take it as a commencement of investigation.
Yes.
So, done. Then reopen investigations into major unresolved criminal cases, including 2020 election, killings, Ayawasu West Wogon by-election, violence, murder of Ahmed Hussein Swale and Silas Ulochame. Yeah.
Okay. So, Sena, if you recall, one of the very first tasks of John Dramani Mahama after taking over was to write to the police hierarchy then, led by Dampari.
Yes. Okay.
To probe the 2020 and 2024 election-related deaths.
Yes. I remember.
Then the IGP then constituted a team led by, Chief Superintendent Nadegbe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were supposed to look into
election-related deaths.
Yes.
2020.
And I think that even Silas can be, put under election-related, because he died during, I think, registration or something.
Yeah, voter registration.
So that has been done. Ayawaso West Wogon is also election-related.
Okay. Hopefully it is included.
Yeah. So considering the mandate of the committee, which is to probe election-related deaths, though it's unclear if Ayawaso West Wogon falls under them, but I feel that is also election-related. So they should all be part of the work of that committee.
I see. So, but there's one other one, Ahmed Hussein Swale.
That case has been reopened.
Okay.
And we've seen the arrest and the charging of a suspect.
Okay.
So
So that can be said to be done.
Yeah.
And then 24, initiate a probe into the man-made disaster caused by VRA spillage from the Akosombo Dam and Pone Dams that displaced and destroyed the livelihoods of thousands of citizens in the Volta, Eastern, and Greater Accra.
Okay. So on the 14th of March, the Minister for Energy, John Jinapo, inaugurated a committee led by Engineer Kofi to investigate issues arising from the flooding caused by the spillage. And so that committee has been set.
Okay. So the key phrase is initiate a probe. Initiate a probe. So that committee has started work. So the probe has been initiated. Okay. Great. So that one too done. I think we have. Is it two more?
Yeah.
Initiate immediate steps to compensate the flood victims, including those in the Oti, Bono East, and Savannah. So everybody who suffered from the floods.
Yes.
Do we have?
So government in the 2025 budget or 2024 budget. 2025 budget allocated 242.5 million Ghana cedis for to support victims of the flood.
Okay.
It is unclear what has been done subsequently, but that allocation was made in the budget.
Okay. Initiate immediate. So because of the word initiate, that will take it as done. Then 26th, the last one.
The last one
is carry out a shake-up of all loss-making SOEs and realign them to break even and transition into profit-making.
That one, I didn't understand.
You don't even understand what the shake-up means.
I not that I don't understand, but the form in which it would take.
That shake-up will take. Okay.
Was the issue for me.
Okay.
Carried out a shake-up.
Okay.
Of all loss-making SOEs and realign them to break even and transition into profit making. It means that they are working. So we want to see that you managing director, you're not performing.
So we have removed you.
Or move to this place, or you have been sacked, somebody else is coming to take over, or we are even collapsing your agency, all together, and then we are giving it to these other people. We are merging it with these other people and all that. That's how I understood the.
So you like further details on what they meant by shake-up?
Well, shake-up.
So far, we haven't seen serious shake-ups in most of the institutions to see.
So
yeah.
So that's it.
So that's one outstanding. So so there are about two outstanding. So the shake-up issue, and then the number 6.
Number 6.
They are quite difficult. So those two we will need further information on to be able to do an assessment. There is the one that we disagree on, which I am the one who is marking. So lay before Parliament, that scholarship matter there, I have marked that they haven't done it. Because
is
they have
it
not
our fault that
before Parliament?
Parliament is on recess?
It's your speaker. Ask the speaker to call them back.
Should call them back so that we lay the bill so that you can mark it.
If not, I'll still mark it down. But Nancy, thank you very much. That's good work. Anyway, in the meantime, the Ghana Police Service says they have invited Alexander Fenyumakin for investigation because during the demonstration yesterday, one of the key things that you will observe is a video that's trending. Alasa, do you have that video? Yes. The video that's trending